The old man placed a small wooden box in front of Rayan and whispered, "Inside this box is the reason your future will either shine or disappear forever." Rayan froze. The entire room became silent. Outside, the wind moved through the trees, and the old man slowly walked away without saying another word. Rayan was 25 years old and lived in a small village surrounded by green fields. He often told everyone, "One day I will become the most successful man in this village. People will know my name everywhere." His friends admired his confidence. The villagers listened to his plans. Every day he spoke about wealth, success, and a better future. But there was a secret that nobody noticed. Rayan never started anything. When the farmers left for work at sunrise, he stayed asleep. When others worked in the heat, he sat under the trees talking about his dreams. He always said, "Tomorrow will be the perfect day." That evening, after everyone had gone home, an old traveler arrived at his house carrying a strange wooden box. The traveler looked directly into Rayan's eyes and said, "Inside this box are two stones. One can build your future. The other can quietly destroy it." Rayan opened the box. Inside lay a bright white stone and a dark black stone. "Which one is dangerous?" Rayan asked. The old man smiled. "That," he said, "is something you will discover yourself." Before Rayan could ask another question, the traveler disappeared into the darkness. That night, Rayan placed the box beside his bed. But when morning arrived, he noticed something that made his heart race. The black stone had become slightly larger. Rayan picked up the black stone with trembling hands. It felt strangely warm, as if it were alive. He quickly placed it back inside the box. The next morning, he decided to visit his field and finally begin the work he had delayed for months. But as he reached the door, he suddenly felt tired. "Tomorrow will be better," he whispered. He returned to his bed. That evening, he opened the wooden box again. His breathing stopped. The black stone had grown larger. At the same time, the white stone had lost some of its shine. Fear slowly entered his heart. The following day, he forced himself to work for a few hours. He cleaned a small corner of his field and planted a few seeds before returning home. When he opened the box that night, something unbelievable had happened. The white stone was glowing softly. The black stone had stopped growing. Rayan could not understand what was happening. For several days, he tested the mystery. Whenever he wasted his time, the black stone became larger. Whenever he worked, even for a short time, the white stone became brighter. Soon the box became the center of his life. But one stormy night, as rain hit the roof and thunder shook the village, Rayan heard a strange sound coming from inside the box. He slowly opened the lid. The black stone had developed a long crack. And from inside that crack, something was moving. Something alive. Rayan stepped back in fear. At that exact moment, someone knocked on his door. 3 slow knocks. When he opened it, the old traveler was standing outside again. His face looked serious. He said only one sentence. "You waited too long. Now the darkness has started to wake up." The old traveler entered the house without saying a word. Rain poured outside, and lightning flashed through the windows. He looked at the cracked black stone inside. "You still have time," he said. "But if the darkness escapes, it will follow you forever." Rayan's hands shook. "What is inside it?" he asked. The old man remained silent. The next morning, Rayan woke up before sunrise. For the first time in years, he walked directly to his field. He worked until his hands hurt. He cleaned the weeds, repaired the broken fence, and planted new seeds. That night, the white stone shone brighter than ever. But the black stone was still cracked. Every day became a battle. Whenever Rayan became lazy, the crack grew wider. Whenever he worked, the white stone pushed back the darkness. Weeks passed. The villagers noticed the change. The man who once talked about success had finally started working for it. Then one evening, Rayan opened the box and froze. A thin black shadow was slowly coming out of the cracked stone. It moved like smoke. The room suddenly became cold. The shadow whispered in his ear. Rest today. You can work tomorrow. Rayan stepped backward in fear because those were the exact words he had repeated his entire life. The shadow grew larger with every excuse he made. That night, he ran to find the old traveler. But the traveler's small house was empty. On the wooden table, Rayan found only a single note. It said, "The final choice is yours. Tomorrow, at sunrise, one stone will disappear forever." Rayan looked toward the dark horizon. For the first time in his life, he realized that his greatest enemy had never lived outside him. It had always been waiting inside. Before sunrise, Rayan stood alone in his field. The cold wind moved through the crops, and the wooden box rested in his hands. Inside, the white stone still glowed. The black stone had become almost completely covered in cracks. Suddenly, the dark shadow rose from it again. It circled around him and whispered, "You have failed before. You will fail again. Go home. Rest. Tomorrow is another day." For a moment, Rayan closed his eyes. Those words had controlled his entire life. But then he remembered his empty years, his broken promises, and the dreams he had almost lost forever. As the first rays of sunlight appeared, he picked up his tools and began working. He worked harder than ever before. The shadow screamed. The black stone started shaking violently. Every step Rayan took weakened it. Every drop of sweat made the white stone shine brighter. Then, as the sun rose above the hills, a loud crack echoed through the field. The black stone shattered into dust. The shadow disappeared. Only the white stone remained. At that moment, the old traveler appeared behind him one last time. He smiled and said, "The stones were never magical. They only revealed the battle already living inside you." Years later, Rayan became one of the most respected men in the village. But people did not admire his success. They admired the day he defeated his excuses. Because the real enemy was never failure. It was the voice that kept saying, "Tomorrow." And remember, every person carries two stones within them. One grows through action. The other grows through delay. The choice, just like Rayan discovered at sunrise, is always ours.